Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, you can call me Serene, and today I'm gonna be sharing my honest review with you about Final Destination Bloodlines. I was so excited to see this movie. If you don't know already, just know that I am a major fan of scary movies. Horror, thriller, scary, whatever. I love them. And I wanna say that I've actually seen just about every single one that was like top tier. There's just something about those movies for some reason that just speaks to me somehow. I don't know why. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm gonna tell you right now that there are gonna be some spoilers, so you might want to pause this video, watch the movie, and then come back and see if you agree with any of my comments. Let's get right into it. If you haven't seen Final Destinations 1 through 5 already, I definitely recommend that you take some time, binge watch those movies. I don't know why you wouldn't have seen them, but definitely a must see. Those movies will have you just sitting there on the edge of your seat wondering what in the world is about to happen next. And that is why I was so excited to actually go see the new one. And I did try to binge watch them before I went to see the new one, but I was only able to see the first 3 again. But I've seen those movies several times, so I know exactly what happens. I just wanted to refresh my memory a little bit. If you haven't seen this trailer or haven't seen any of the movies, I want to let you know just a little bit of a background on the movies themselves, just to know what you're gonna get yourself into. The movie plot for all of these movies is essentially that death is following a group of people. And there's one person out of this group of people that is able to see the future and how they're gonna die. And that premonition that they see of everything that's gonna happen kind of scares them. And there are some people that believes the person and there are some people that don't. And basically they all are trying to escape their fate. Along the way, they become friends or whatever. With this new movie, they have the same exact concept, except that this is a group of family members that are experiencing the same type of issue where one person was able to see the premonition and the rest of the family was essentially going to DIE. Now, they started this movie way back in the day with Iris, which is the grandmother of this group of family that is essentially going to DIE. Iris is with her boyfriend. They first visit a major, massive restaurant that is literally like a skyscraper. And this is, I believe, was like in 1985. And they go there to have a luxurious type of experience. Iris is the one that sees the premonition, what is going to happen at the restaurant. I think that that beginning to the movie was actually so perfect. It captured the concept of Final Destination because just like the other movies, you start your day typically just doing whatever it is that you were planning on doing, and then you're able to see everything that's going to happen throughout the day or throughout that event or throughout that moment. Then you essentially wake up from a dream or you get back into your out of body experience and then you freak out. But with this movie, they did it very differently where they were presenting us with the person Iris who was experiencing this premonition, but it was her granddaughter who actually saw it through a dream. I thought this was very interesting and different, and it definitely captured me from the very beginning where I was like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen? What is this about? What is going to happen to this family and everything? But I want to say that I saw major differences from this movie, Bloodlines, compared to the other movies from before, in the sense that the person, which in this case was the granddaughter, was not able to actually see the things that the family was going to experience. In the other movies, the person who saw the premonition was able to see a premonition that was going to happen. But in this instance, Iris's granddaughter was only able to see the premonition that Iris had seen from way before she was even born. Now, I want to say that I did not like that concept simply because it strayed away from the original concepts from the movies before. But that's not to say that it was a bad concept. What I did like though was the scenes where the action was actually happening, the scenes where people were actually getting hurt, the scenes where they couldn't escape their fate. They were on track with the movies from before, but also not at the same time. And let me explain what I mean by that. In the other movies, when the people would be affected by their death or whatever, they would experience very, very strange situations that would lead to their death. They kept that concept for this movie as well. But those instances, in my opinion, felt like they were instances that could actually happen in real life. For instance, with the first movie, there was a plane crash. And as we saw earlier this year, there was a bunch of plane crashes that was happening in the United States that had people freaked out. And the second Final Destination, what they had was a car crash that happened because of a truck that had a bunch of tree trunks in the back. That was also realistic because to this day, I do not drive behind a truck. In the third movie, the premonition was a roller coaster that basically just went out of control and just everybody died from that. Again, another realistic scenario. I believe there was a few years ago where somebody did actually pass away from a roller coaster. I think this was in Florida. In the fourth movie, the situation was that a bunch of people in a racetrack area was actually going to DIE from all the cars crashing into each other. Another realistic situation, in my opinion, simply because those cars, they be going crazy on those racetracks. And then in the fifth Final Destination, what they had was, I believe, a bridge that collapsed and everybody on that bridge passed away. Not too long ago, that actually did happen. And now that I think about these situations, it's like, are these actual premonitions for real life? But all of that to say, in this specific Final Destination Bloodlines, I feel like the situation that they had was not that realistic in my opinion. Because one, the setting is in the 1980s. Cool. But in the 1980s, they somehow have this huge skyscraper restaurant situation going on that looks very futuristic. In my opinion, that's not something that would be happening in the 1980s. Do we even have that right now in 2025? Don't think so. That alone was like, I don't know if that is realistic. But, you know, it's a movie, so we'll look over that. It was still a beautifully put together scene where it captivated my attention and it just kept me on edge. Like, what in the world is about to happen? Is this lady actually about to escape death? And if so, are all of these people in the restaurant going to be followed by death? And this is where the movie kind of strayed away from the original plots from before. In this situation, Iris's family, hence bloodline, is the one that is experiencing all of these issues and they're trying to escape death just like the other movies. So because of that, the whole bloodlines idea, I think the story plot was actually perfect. Another thing that I found unrealistic in this movie was how Iris, the original grandmother who started the movie, passed away because her granddaughter went to visit her in her secluded area where she hasn't stepped foot outside in over 20 some years. And when she finally stepped outside, like as soon as she stepped foot outside, something happened that killed her. That I found really unrealistic because the other movies from before did not do something like that where, you know, this death situation is just like a person waiting to stab you as soon as you step foot outside. But I do have to say that the cinematography of this movie was amazing. The scenes where the people were getting hurt, the details and the thoughts of these people that make these movies are actually super, super cringy and super amazing at the same time. Like, how in the world did you think of that? How in the world did you think to put this specific set of plot together to lead to somebody passing away? Like, there was one scene where it was just like, what in the world just happened? It followed the whole idea of like weird situations happen that lead to somebody passing away. I think all the actors delivered and played their role perfectly and to the point. And even though I said the story plot from this one is very different from the other story plots from before, I still think that it was really well put together. And I think that it was really interesting to see how trying to control everything in your life would actually make you go crazy. I also think that they did really well with the editing in the sense that they added music exactly where it needed to be. The sound effects were on point. The transitions were on point. And the CGI was like amazing. amazing. Overall, I think the movie was 7 out of 10. I think the storyline was pretty amazing. I also noticed that they brought back one person from the other movies from before that really tied in the story really well. At first, I didn't think it was the same guy simply because he looked so different, but I realized after watching the movie why he looked so different, because he was suffering from cancer. He looked like he had lost a lot of weight, and yeah, it brought the story really well together where we were actually able to connect him to the other movies from before and see why he had so much knowledge about what was happening with the people that were coming to him and asking him for advice. But all in all, I think this movie was pretty good for the 6th movie out of the series, because a lot of times when people are continuing movies so far down the line, they kind of lose the story plot. This one did not do much twisting around. They just changed a couple of things, but they still kept a lot at the same time, and I think they brought it really well together with that one person that they kept. I definitely recommend that you go and watch that movie if you haven't already. I would also recommend that you watch the other Final Destinations, and let me know what you thought about this movie in the comments below, if you agree with any of my points or if you disagree. And I would also love some recommendations, so please drop them below so I can watch some new movies. And stay tuned for more reviews, because I absolutely love watching movies. So if you want any recommendations, let me know and I'll drop them for you.